Good evening and welcome to the show. It's Inside Eve. Yes, you know, we come on your TV screens every Monday evenings at 8 p.m. Okay? Welcome to the show. Don't mind me. There's been a lot of excitement here, like before the show started. So much excitement, and it rubbed off a bit on my opening. Well, welcome to the show. I hope you've had a great day so far. My name is Enifome. If it's a mouthful, you can call me Fome.
Yes.
If it's a mouthful, you can call me Fome.
Lord.
Those lines I've taken from Ademi Sola right here.
Yeah, so getting it after the show.
Okay, let me introduce you first, my darling.
Okay.
These are my two stunning beauties. They're drama queens.
No.
I love them so much, despite.
We love you too.
To my far right is my boo-boolicious boo-boo.
I know, right? I know, I rock. What's up, guys?
Yeah,
Welcome to the show.
Okay. You're going overboard now.
Wait, you just called me Bubulicious.
Oh, you rock, boo-boo. You do rock.
I know.
You rock.
Hello.
All right. My name is Ademi Sola. If it's a mouthful,
you can
pronounce it.
Oh, that's even
Get
better.
a teacher.
That's even better.
You need to call the full name. Ademi Sola.
If it's a mouthful, get used to it.
No, we can't get used to it. Let's leave it at Derry, man. Straight.
All right.
Let's
We'll get to that later. I'll tell you the meaning of Ademi Sola, then I'll tell you the meaning
Like,
of
seriously,
Ademi, or
know.
lack of meaning.
I already know.
Moving on.
I know.
Moving on. It was a really nice weekend, ladies.
Yes, it was.
What did we get up to?
It was spalicious. It was spallid.
Spastic.
Spartacus.
Oh. We had a lovely day at the spa, courtesy of our wonderful ED and MD, courtesy of R2TV.
Yeah.
So they gave us a treat, the ladies of Inside Eve. We kicked it at 4 points in Sheraton.
Yeah.
Don't sell 4 points market here. We went to the spa.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. We went to the spa. Sorry about that.
It was
But
it was a
wonderful.
lovely outing.
Yeah.
Very relaxing. Classy.
Necessary. Take out all the stress.
Yeah.
Need those muscles.
Derry was grinning from ear to ear.
Okay, so
all
we need
through.
to find out how experience was. She needs to tell us because...
Oh yeah, definitely.
Don't tell on me now.
No.
We all had fun. We all had fun at the spa. That's it.
Are you sure?
Wait, what she said, what happens in the spa stays in the spa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, we're giving our audience something to think about. That's not what happened in the spa. We just chilled. That's it.
Whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You can only imagine. Let's leave that to your imagination.
For me, don't say you can. How can you say you can only imagine?
You can only...
When you leave things to people's imagination, it goes well. Please, we just went for massage, body scrub, and all those
It was
very
fun.
same
It was
things.
good.
Stop.
Please.
It was good. It was
Let's
very
leave it
good.
at that, right?
Anyway, it was good.
Was a
It's
nice
necessary.
one.
You should pamper yourselves once in a while. Like, seriously.
Definitely.
Lagos is too stressful.
know,
Nigeria,
right?
Africa is stressful. So
Yeah, just
Once in a while,
thinking
maybe
about
once in
it.
a month or once in 2 months if you're too busy. And you could like take your partner out on a treat, like just spoil them, and then afterwards get busy.
And I mean, another thing we should advise our audience is the men, you can pamper your wives, like you can massage them at home in your privacy, you know, and you can communicate after that. You know how it goes, yeah. Tips from Boo.
wives and husbands only. Right, Boo Boo?
Yeah, strictly.
Wives and husband only. No extra. Okay.
All right, we're moving on.
I don't want to
Yeah,
say too
we're
much.
moving
There's a lot of stuff in my mouth.
We're actually moving on to a quick break. Please don't go anywhere because we have a really, really nice, exciting show coming up. Stay tuned.
Lights, camera, action. I love my movies. Intriguing, exciting, entertaining. All here on R2TV.
I'm plus size. I have dimples. Doesn't mean I'm going to show the world.
Too much information, like too much color. I wasn't feeling it.
Grandmother is weird.
I don't have a
bite
problem
my
with
tongue.
There was no
bravery. I really
supernova
like
during
the
our
outfit.
grandma's
You are just for
Very
me. Can't fall
We're not
her.
talking about beautiful now. We're talking about someone that has the body that you know, they wear a dress and you go like, yes.
She now cut it out with the scissors and just put it on her shoulders.
But she needs to elevate to the level.
up her game.
Step up her game.
Like, what were you thinking? This is too much sexy. Like, have you never heard of the term less is more?
Supernova, every Saturday and Sunday, only on R2 TV.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're on to Inside Eve. Now, on to gist around town. Now, ladies, picture this. How many of you would like to be proposed like this? No,
sorry.
Let me land.
How many proposals do you want?
Sorry.
How many of you ladies would like to be proposed to like this? Your boyfriend splashes his proposal on a huge billboard, probably one on your way to work, and then, ooh, that's huge. And then you drive past and see it. That's really that's a good one.
Okay, so someone did that.
Yeah, someone did that in the UK. A guy proposed to his girlfriend. You know, he put up the words. I think, Tara, you've changed my life. You see the picture scrolling past. And would you marry me? And then made her boss rather take her through that route, which she usually takes to work. And then he parked by the sign, a really huge sign, like 20 feet. That's huge. And then also arranged for her relatives to be on the other side, hiding in the bush somewhere.
Like you read it.
I know, right?
And then when she saw it, you know, she was really weak. She was shocked. She was happy, obviously.
Anybody will be, and that's a lot of money, though. Billboard money.
I know.
It's not. They pay a lot of money.
Billboard money is not small money.
But I think it was just for like that morning, you know.
I think it was for maybe an hour.
Yeah, he spent like sleepless nights thinking about it. He said it was like the greatest thing, like the bravest thing he had ever done, which is quite nice and romantic.
I kind of like applaud his courage, because everybody that comes out to do public proposal, like seriously, man, boss, anybody that comes out to do public proposal, I can imagine saying, Foma, will you marry me? I'm assuming now that we have something going, we're going somewhere.
That's
and the next thing, Foma says, can we talk about this somewhere?
No, apparently he had asked her.
No, I'm just talking about proposals generally, like people that come all out. But in your mind, you know that she's going to say yes. That's why you will stage something like that. He
had asked her parents, and then they said, I'm sure she would say yes. So he was pretty sure that she would say yes. Imagine going through all that, and then the chick just says,
no. Oh my God. Okay, we're going to talk about that one, because this is like the good side of it.
Really?
And she gave him a very big kiss.
Don't give kiss. After I don't spend money for everyone. I'm sure the guy would have gotten more than a kiss afterwards.
Like
they communicate.
It's like the least thing.
According to Omar, introduction.
Russian style.
Introduction. According to Omar. Anyway, that's really cool. Just I have this story about a couple. They had been married for 14 years and they had no baby. I don't know what was with 14 years and TTCs, like trying to conceive. And then God bless them with bouncing baby. What now? A set of twins, not bouncing baby boy or girl.
I was wondering what you were going to say. Bouncing baby twins.
No. I was just like putting you on it, like suspense, you know, my thing.
That's
boys, girls,
2 girls.
Doesn't matter.
Oh no, it's a default. Come on.
Yeah,
it is a default.
But then I applaud their faith. The picture of the twins we are showing now, they are not like their own kids, but they were just celebrating them, celebrating the whole weight. And I applaud, let me give another respect to men that stand by their wives through all of this. We know, we've established it here, that it's not really the woman's fault. It's not entirely her fault. It could be the man, it could be the woman. But then this is a society that is one-sided.
So the pressure is more on the woman.
Exactly. So every man that doesn't bring another Sulia into the house and says, we did something.
Or in the village. He doesn't even have to bring her into the house out of respect for the woman. You know, but sometimes they just do.
There's one village wife that your mother would tell you.
Horrible.
Yeah, so special shout out to them. I think they said they had someone in their church.
Another person in their
31 years of marriage.
31. I don't know how people do it, but you know, they must have like
a lot of courage.
It's a lot of faith as well. like a
whole bunch of all the elements, faith and hope,
and the emotional stress and the pain. And I know a few people who just go, not just because the thing is, even if you're childless for a year, 2 years, 3 years, it's still an emotional roller coaster.
Definitely.
Doesn't matter the amount of years that you don't have kids. But when you hear stories like that, you're kind of encouraged.
Oh, yes.
You're encouraged to say, okay, if he did it for them, he would do it for us.
And this lady is actually 50 years old.
Yeah, the one that had the 14-year
yes.
wait.
50 years old.
My mom gave birth to me in her 50s.
Like, seriously?
Really?
Yeah.
No wonder you're...
That's fine, just leave it at that.
You know, they always say that children of old age are wonderful.
But you guys can attest to that. No, you guys can attest to that. I am wonderful.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
You are wonderful.
No, don't sing.
Okay, sorry. I didn't know we're still on air. No, that's fine.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
I have all the gists today.
All right, bring it.
Spill.
One maid somewhere.
Another maid.
It's not the Orekoya maid this time. A maid somewhere in Kenya decided to play mommy. And then, okay, this woman kept like cameras in the house. I'm sure after watching the Ugandan maid, watching this, watching that, you have to like...
I think that's a must.
You know, so
actually.
she put cameras around, and next thing is their woman, their girl feels like breastfeeding, and then she decides to breastfeed the child. And then she's at work watching and seeing someone else breastfeeding her child. Like, what is that? I don't know, with maids these days, it's just...
I don't know what I'll do to that kind of human being who decides to put her... I don't know where her tits has been. And you want to put that in my child's mouth. I don't know, because this issue of looking at what's going on, the wrong things that are going on, I don't know if I can handle it.
It's a lot to take in. It's a lot.
It's scary.
I don't know if I'll beat her, if I'll...
You first of all try to bash her head in through the phone. Through the screen.
But why
no,
would
she said the
do
child
that?
wanted to play with it.
No, but we all know that.
Because you didn't get toys for your child, she decided to give the child a toy.
My husband has told me,
thou shalt not.
we are never, ever having a housemaid.
Sweetheart,
Same
you don't have a 9 to 5.
Nanny, no, it's not even
Which
that.
actually leads
My
us to
husband
the
doesn't-
topic
Yeah, my husband doesn't
for
care
today.
whether I'm doing 9 to 5, 9 to 12. His kids are his kids. His kids are our responsibilities.
True.
And he doesn't want anyone. And this kind of freaks him out.
But do you agree with him, though? Because
That-
it's not just about him.
No, of course, darling.
I think we're like
Okay,
entering
we're
already
going into the topic already.
We are, but you see, I still have to stress my point.
We've heard, Boo Boo. You've made
Okay.
it quite clear.
That's
And actually, it's the same here. No
But I'll get you a
maids.
maid, a good maid.
But then,
from Cotonou,
okay,
I
pause,
have.
ladies. Thank you. We need to go on a quick break. I'm sorry to interrupt you. But
I'm
we'll
trying to get
continue
a maid for Boo
after an online maid. Continue after the break. We're going on a quick break. Please,
maid.
we need you guys to listen in on this conversation. We'll be right back.
But
in a
before we go on the
bit.
break, the numbers to call today
Thank you, Boo Boo. I was
is
getting carried away.
080-91222283, 080-91222284. Take it.
08091222285 and 08091222286.
And remember,
Why the remix?
well, we just need to do that. Remember, our app is
Yeah.
up for download. So if you're a BlackBerry, iOS, you have an Android phone, just download it. It's pretty, the file is pretty small, and you'll enjoy seamless streaming, like absolutely
Yeah.
wicked. And also like our
True
Facebook
that.
page, so go to our Facebook, my R2TV. I do apologize, and tweet at us at R2_TV.
TV.
Those are the
Yeah.
informations that you need, and
And don't forget, you can stream on our Facebook page. Yeah, we're
Definitely.
good like that.
definitely.
You can watch us in the toilet, bathroom, wherever you go.
Why did you say toilet first, man? That an imagination just
Don't you
came.
carry these things to the toilet?
No, I
Very
don't.
okay, we need to go on a break. Can we go on a break now,
Yes,
ladies?
we can.
Okay,
Thank you.
I just like toilet
This
talk
is
a
still
lot.
inside you. See you later.
Pause.
Lights, camera, action. I love my movies. Intriguing, exciting, entertaining. All here on R2TV.
I'm plus size. I have dimples. Doesn't mean I'm going to show the world.
Too much information, like too much color. I wasn't feeling it.
Grandmother is weird.
I don't have a
bite
problem
my
with
tongue.
There was no
bravery. I
super
feel
lover
like
during
the
our
outfit.
grandma.
You are just for me. Can't fall
We're not
her.
talking about beautiful now. We're talking about someone that has the body that you know, the way you dress and you go like, yes.
She now cut it out with the scissors and just put it on her shoulders.
But she needs to elevate to the level.
up her game.
Step up her game.
Like, what were you thinking? This is too much sexy. Like, have you never heard of the term less is more?
Supernova, every Saturday and Sunday, only on R2 TV.
Welcome to Body Matrix.
My name is L.I.F.E Ajayi, and you're watching Short in Short.
This is Girls Pod, where we chill, gist, and most of all, have fun.
That's what I said.
My name is Ruby Gang, and you are here to watch the Ruby Gang edition of High on Fire.
High on Fire.
Yeah, what was the crazy one? Don't be deceived. She's crazy.
R2 Push 50 Countdown Show. I'm your main guy, Illo with the flow. You know how we do it. And I am with the flow. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Skype, you name it. There's also Vine. We are entertainment at its best on R2 TV.
Keep watching R2.
R2.
R2. R2. R2.
R2 TV.
This is Cool DJ Jimmy Jad, you know.
R2 TV, keep it locked every day, you heard?
So what is love? Love is different to different people. But to me, love is everything. Love is kind, love is patient, love knows no wrong, love is beautiful. And yes, Boo, I'm in love. I am a firm believer of love. With love comes trust. So if you want to be in love, better trust. Love is R. Love is real. Love is R2 TV.
And we are back. Yes, we're back on the show. Tonight, we're talking about parenting and nannies and how the career woman copes. I don't know how she copes because thankfully, I'm privileged enough to have a flexible schedule with work. Anyway, we have a guest here on the show. His name is Mr. Iyayi Samson Iyayi. He's a parenting values facilitator and catalyst who pursues his passion in promoting proactive parenting through the L.I.F.E Parenting Academy. Now, L.I.F.E Parenting Academy offers spiritual, clinical, and sociological curricula to its growing clientele. His book, Purposeful Parenting, promotes the biblical parenting curriculum of the Academy and it's available on Jumia, eBay, Amazon, and other e-commerce sites. Mr. Iyayi, Samson, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you here on the show.
I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, so before we start bombarding you with questions, now we are going to quickly view this video. Okay. The Orakoya kidnapping case was like everywhere. Yeah. We have this special clip of the maid after she was caught.
It's special.
Confessing. Yes, let's quickly watch that. Let's quickly watch that, and when we come back, we'll be on to our guest.
My husband's brother wife called me that there's a woman looking for a housemaid in the OLS. That was the first time. So when I called maid, I said I should come and go for maid. I said I can't go for maid. I cannot be washing all these clothes. So she said I should come to PWD. So when I got there, she gave me the job. So she said I should resume on Tuesday. So I resumed. So she went to work on Wednesday. She went to work again. There was nobody at home. So I backed the baby one and I helped the ones that I could hold. We went outside the gates. I said we want to go and buy something. So we went to Juelegba. From Juelegba, we went to Yanokpaja. I called my husband and I said, I'm around though. He said I should be coming. I said I should be coming. What if I'm being arrested? He said I should come. So I called Marwa. Marwa now took me to Coca. So I kept the children in Coca. So I now read it on the social media that he demanded for 15 million. So I quickly went to him. I said, but you told me it was a token. He said I should go. So after that, then I read it again that he's collecting 13 million naira again. I went back again. I said, this woman does not have it. Why not reduce it? He said I should leave the room. I should not say anything, that I've done my own. Let him do his. I said, okay. So I now watched the woman at TVC where she was weeping. So I now went to go and give it to them. I said, see, she's weeping because of her children. Let them go. He said the father is being stubborn. I said, it is not the father. It is the mother that we should consider. He said I should go. I should leave the house. So on Monday, the police came to our area. I now called him. He was not at home. He said I should not worry that they won't come to our house. So immediately he came back. He said I should leave the house. So I left the house. I don't know how he took the children out. So yesterday, I went to Coca Orisumbari side to go and buy something. So that's where I was being held. I was arrested.
For me, I don't believe
a word she said. But I can imagine the distress a mother goes through when she's looking for her kids. Maybe like they're in a park and then the child maybe wanders off. Not to talk of the agony that she goes through when you know that 3 of your kids, an 11-month-old inclusive, is in the hands of someone that you trusted. But then my question is, we know that we live in a really busy world. In fact, it's gone from busy to mad. It's a mad world. Is it enough to just churn out kids into the society and not be there for them, but to leave them in the hands of a caretaker or a maid or a nanny or whatever it is they call them?
Well, I would like to begin by saying that it's pretty important for every intending couple, or even those who are already established in the unity of marriage, to first of all understand that parenting is a very serious commitment that comes with a lot of responsibility that is sacrificial to some extent and to some degree. So it's important that before you think about bringing a child into this world, first thing you have to do is to look at your options, and also set in motion a plan to ensure that the child is properly catered for. In our society, if you look at our traditional structures that existed before, you would find that our parents would send maybe relatives or siblings, to provide some kind of succor, while the men and women go to work, for those who were career-minded. But today, it's a lot different. You have what I would call the Y generation, which is more interested, in seeking opportunities for itself than really catering to the needs and concerns of children. The experience of the requires is very, very sad experience, very traumatic experience. I cannot imagine rather.
I can't imagine.
What the lady went through, what the husband went through, thinking about how to get those kids rescued. And I think it was a bit careless on their part how they could trust someone they met over the internet with all the, news, and we've heard over time about people, fraudsters and scams on the internet. So really, for someone to think about entrusting your child into the care of a caregiver, whether the caregiver is a nanny or a housekeeper, you need to do a lot more work. You need to put in some safeguards in your environment.
Okay, you know what? I think we should go back to basics. Tonight we're talking about parenting. What exactly is parenting?
Now, parenting is stewardship, and stewardship, in other words, is like referring to being accountable for whatever is entrusted into your care. Now, remember the fact that once you produce life, you become the source of that life. And if you premise that explanation to what obtains in Scripture, because you cannot separate parenting from the Bible. That needs to be established. You would understand that being a source means you need to protect, you need to sustain, and you need to provide for.
Provide for.
Yeah, you protect, you sustain, and you provide for. Sustenance goes beyond just, sustenance involves being able to advise, teach, guide, instruct, motivate, align, to the values that you have within your system, your creed, or your family, or your heritage. So parenting is a very sacred form of stewardship. In fact, it's one of the highest forms of stewardship and worship to God. So when God gives you a child, He's actually saying to you, I trust you to protect, to sustain, and to provide for this child.
So, okay, can we say then that there are many biological fathers and mothers, but we don't have many parents?
Yes. You find a lot of examples in our society, and we can even reflect what America actually does. You find men who are biological fathers but never stay-at-home parents, or never been supportive parents. And in Nigeria today, it's beginning to become a trend in our culture. You find biological fathers, yes, they come home, but they never get to engage with their kids. They don't interact with their kids because they're so busy at work. And the wives too have become almost the same.
As busy.
As busy as well. So it's a terrible situation. And one of my concerns really is that organizations should begin to think family and also begin to introduce some kind of legislation or policy that would, encourage certain dimensions. Yeah.
I'd like to see that happen.
I think the Lagos State government did something about that recently. The whole 6 months maternity thing. I know outside Nigeria, I think in the UK, you have like a year or so.
Yes.
Because when my friend got married, her husband told her, then I don't want you to get pregnant yet. Get a job first. Because if you go straight into childbearing, you're going to have like a gap. You won't settle in on time. But I own my business, one-man business. My major interest is capital and profit. I want to make profit. Yes, I've set human capital, I've set rules, I've set things, policies here and there to just cushion the effect of this job stress and all. Is it my responsibility, is it my business to look out for you? Should I, because you want to be a good parent, you want to get home at 4 o'clock, you want to be able to pick your kids from school, should I factor in that and begin to give you leeway, begin to give you, some employers will tell you, you're a woman, you're coming in. 5 years, I beg, no pregnancy. No, so can you shed more light on that? We can look at the government angle, the private sector.
Yeah. For the private sector, don't forget that the private sector also responds to legislation from the government.
Okay.
So if, for instance, the government decides to pass in the legislation that, promotes a policy in the workplace that supports married women to close at a specific time. Private establishments cannot say they will not respect that policy or legislation. However, what private investors can do, like most of them are already doing, I'm aware of some private organizations within Lagos and some parts of Nigeria that have creches within their establishments. And that really for me is really, really fantastic. And then on the part of the parent, there are some schools that offer after school hour service.
Okay.
And because you know that the school is a much more trustworthy partner, you can actually collaborate with them on how you can manage your kids for a specific number of hours, knowing fully well that you have to navigate through traffic within the busy city of Lagos to be able to access your child after the day's work. But I also think that organizations should take another step forward and look at this issue more critically, especially in sectors involving banking, because you know a lot of bankers don't close on time, and there are other sectors too that like the banking sector that are also that way. They can introduce what I call flexible work hours. You know, I understand that the overheads on manpower is also a consideration, but I also think that it is time for us to begin to seriously consider adopting some of the efforts that have been fully established and are working in other countries. For instance, in the US, they have a flexible hour system. You have people who come in various hours of the day, and based on the amount of hours they work, that's what they get paid. And that can also be a cost-saving system for any organization within Nigeria.
In fact, that's absolutely brilliant.
Well, like that's on the part of the employers.
Yes.
On our own part, as women, definitely we want to pursue a career. You know, we want to build up something for ourselves. What are the options available, really? Okay, so there's the crèche.
Yes.
And then there's the maid. Some people get relatives from the village.
Yes.
Whom they might not completely trust. But what other options really
it's like
are
we
there?
have devil and deep blue sea. That's
well,
what it looks like.
The thing is, to pursue a career successfully as a career-minded person, you also need to think about child spacing. You find child spacing. You find a lot of women who try to rush childbearing, you know, and that also has a very negative impact on their health. They try to rush childbearing, and in the process of trying to do that, they also want to save time, you know, being able to probably spend some time with those kids in the very formative years of their lives. However, child spacing is one of the options you can adopt, you know, to ensure that you can manage your relationship with your child, because it's not just enough to bring the child into the world. Parenting affects 3 domains, actually. Parenting affects the spiritual awareness domain of the child, affects the emotional domain of the child, and also affects the intelligence of the child.
The intelligence.
Oh, yes. So you find that parents who are involved with their kids do well in school because of that involvement.
Yeah.
But when parents are detached from their kids struggle at school because there is no one to actually motivate them to study or motivate them to strive to do well. I succeeded as a child because of my father's involvement in my life.
Okay.
You know, so these are some of the options. Now, on the issue of adopting the traditional system, it's critical that when you are bringing in someone from your community, your local community within the country, proper investigation about the person's background is done. We don't do background verification these days. We are too much in a hurry to get issues sorted that we miss out the essential details. So it's critical that you do background investigations very well. You verify from the family members from where this child is coming from. And you also make a plan for the maid or whoever is coming in. Have a structure within your home that the maid or housekeeper or nanny would follow. So that, in a way, regulates the behavior of the child. And also, if you need to, as a safeguard, you need to also alert your security.
People around.
And we find today that people are now adopting CCTVs in their homes.
Oh,
you also need to encourage,
definitely.
if you can afford it, adopt it. And then probably get another close relative that you are close related with.
Just to monitor.
Yeah, to be around to monitor. These are some of the safeguards you can actually have, and they are practical. On the other hand, if you now want to go through an agency, ensure the agency is licensed to provide that service. OLX, for instance, in the case of the Orekoya, was licensed. It's licensed as a platform to connect
for
merchandise, you know, and,
just to connect.
And someone who was dubious, you know, went and utilized that platform. I've heard a lot of comments about people who were saying that OLX is to blame for what happened, but I don't think so. I mean, there are disclaimers that the platform has provided. However, so if you want to hire a maid, please go through a licensed agent, and the government should introduce licenses and ensure that there are certain criteria that such agencies must meet before they can provide that service.
I think that just totally like, because I've been thinking this whole maid thing. I sat down with a group of friends and we were talking about it, like, what is the solution? Okay, take the child to the crèche. These places today sometimes drug them. Like some of them are pretty careless, or when they don't care. When they say, oh, a child is crying tomorrow, Purity, I beg, take this, you just sleep by the time your mother comes, you know, and that's scary too. So I like what you just said, but then there are some people that don't even have relatives. Like if I have a child now, who am I going to call? Most of my younger ones are educated.
I'm busy with their lives
they have their own personal lives to live. I don't have that person. Gone are the days when our parents came from the village to Lagos, got married and they came to Lagos, so they had people in the village. I don't have anybody in the village anymore. Everybody was born in Lagos. So who exactly am I going to call on? Now, given that I don't have a relative to stand in, say maybe the person doesn't even have a mom to come and stay, you're stuck with a maid. Is there... I don't know, is there any other way out? Like, it's almost like an impossible thing. A friend of mine has a nanny that comes in just before she leaves for work and then doesn't leave until she gets back, which is supposed to, like, help check the maid. So, but then what if both of them connive? It's a wicked world out there. I don't know. Do you think that career women should step it down a bit, make that sacrifice?
I think so.
Make that sacrifice and just to ensure that they take care of their children.
I'm sorry, to buttress what she's just said, unfortunately, we live in a society where it's the woman that has to make the sacrifice. Because I was also going to ask you.
You are.
I was also going to ask you the same question, but not many men. That's what I think. If you think otherwise, please call now and tell us.
Okay, well, I would say this. The career woman certainly has a lot of options. We've mentioned some of them. The church, which is another support system for every family on earth, mosque, whatever it is another support system that a career-minded person can affiliate with. There are churches now who can actually provide that kind of service where they look after your children. And you have trustworthy Christian centers around the city that you can actually engage to provide that service. It just depends on if the church can begin to consider such an option of being a service provider, a licensed service provider for childcare management. That is another option. That's for women who have, career women who have no relatives or any support system whatsoever. In my own experience, my wife and I agreed that we were going to have our babies sporadically, which we did within 4 or 5 years.
How many kids?
Yeah, we have 3 daughters now.
Wow.
And within that space of time, we agreed that she wasn't going to work for a couple of years. And so for the past 7 years, or 8 years rather, she hasn't done any
9 to 5.
9 to 5 job. She's just engaged in her own a business where she provides educational resources to schools really and individuals. So she has been able to manage her time, because of my own goals and the goals I have for my family, and the fact that I also want her to grow as an individual, and also develop her potential. Well, she secured an appointment recently, and so she's working now, and I am now doing my consulting stuff.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, so you stepped down.
Yeah, I stepped down for her to pursue my passion, which is the L.I.F E Parenting Academy, and also provide services to organizations. So I'm able to manage my time and at the same time support my kids.
Oh, that is beautiful. As an absolute, I wish every parent could make a conscious effort. Okay, I read something somewhere. You know all these DPs that go around. Someone said, a little child asked, "Mommy, can you leave your expensive jewelry with the maid?" And then the mother said, "No, they're expensive." And it's like, then why do you leave me with the maid?
True.
Yeah, interesting. A child is a treasure, and the more we begin to understand that every child that has been sent into this world by God is God's solution to a particular problem that has been created by man, then we will begin to understand the seriousness and the sacredness of our responsibility as parents. A child is a treasure, and much more worth.
Than your gold.
And so you need to take, do careful planning to look after your children.
Careful planning.
Careful planning.
I think that's what many young couples, that are intending to go into marriage lack.
Yeah.
Because I think we need to take it more seriously. Okay, we have a caller. Moses World from Kogi State. Good evening.
Hey.
Hello.
Good evening, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Good evening.
God bless you.
Hi, good evening. God bless you too.
Happy to hear you today.
Oh yes, definitely. We're happy to hear you too.
Hi, it's Ebubu.
She's well.
Oh, she's very well, thank you.
Let me say hi to the brother with you there. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the great work you are doing.
Thank you, sir.
I just want to say one or two things as regards parenting.
Okay.
At the same time, the issue of nanny. I know very well that the country we live in, we have so many challenges as regards parenting and our career. But one of the things we must emphasize and try to force the government of our nation to do is to allow our women have enough time with their children. It is very important that maternity leave is as it is in government, it should also be in the private sector.
Yeah.
For example, my own wife, when we had our first child, she worked with the private sector, and where she's working, she was told that she cannot bring that child to work. Even after a month of delivery, they asked her to resume immediately. And it's so difficult for her, and I was not pleased, and I don't want her to lose that job, and I wouldn't also want my child to suffer. So it was a very pretty difficult situation we find ourselves in, and we have to struggle with it. Unfortunately, even in the private sector, even if they will give you a maternity leave of 1 month, they will also not pay you. So it's becoming a very difficult thing that we find ourselves in. I just wish that there's a way we can force government to force the private sector to do as it is. I have a church member who lives in Denmark, and there is paternity leave there as you have maternity leave. So as your wife is going on maternity leave, the husbands also go for maternity leave. So paternity leave in such a way that the two of them can stay with their children and properly bring them up. But in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. Even if the woman will have it because she's in government, the man doesn't have. So we must the way whereby we can force government to increase maternity leave for the women and also allow the young man also to go. Because the two of them staying with the child, we allow the child to grow and receive the first education from their parents, which is very important for children in their upbringing. As a pastor, whom I am, I have to step down and take care of my children because I don't want my wife to lose her job. So she goes for work, I stay with the children at home, and when she returns, I go back for my ministerial engagement. This is what we've been able to do in order to bring up our children, and then we're enjoying it. So this is the challenge before us. And what I'm putting before everybody in Nigeria today is that we should force the private sector to obey the rule of allowing a woman who has just put to bed to go on maternity leave and pay her. That is just what I have to say.
Pay her.
I pray God will help us. God bless you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much
much for your contribution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, I'm particularly surprised by the fact that there is an organization in Nigeria that does not honor obligations to employees. The maternity period for an employee is 3 months, right? Standard.
Yeah.
And it's in the labor law of the country. I'm an HR practitioner, so I'm talking from a professional background. And I know from my own experience being in the workforce and now doing my own private practice, I know that a woman who proceeds on maternity leave always gets paid, even while she's on maternity leave.
Even if it's private sector.
Even if it's private sector. So if there's an organization like that, I mean, they can sue them.
I think the truth is,
but you know how it is now. One man business. I own my thing if you don't want to go.
No.
It's just the sad reality.
The Industrial Labour Court is there to provide such a service, humanitarian service, to an individual who has suffered that kind of injustice. As far as I'm concerned, that's injustice.
We have another caller. Felix from Imo State. Good evening, Felix.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Welcome to the show.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
I'm hearing you. Good evening.
Yes, but can you please turn down the volume of your TV set?
I've done that already.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just exactly what the last caller said.
Okay.
I like it, but the problem is that government should at least help the private sector, because this issue of career woman has killed a lot of families. This career thing has killed a lot of families. So, but my own case, I just went to my in-law place and picked one boy that's taking care of our young ones, my son and my daughter. So what I'm saying is, let this government, the incoming government, put it as a law that will help families, because this thing has impacted a lot of families in this country. And thank God that I just tune off Arrow to TV just to know that such program is going on. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
All of you. Go on. God will help you.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
All of you.
Thank you so very much, Mr.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it.
Definitely.
Wow.
We do. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
I think the bulk of it is everybody keeps saying government should just establish these policies and enforce them.
You know, I was saying that couples don't take it seriously. They don't plan well enough. In the same vein, the governments also, they haven't given the woman enough support. We didn't choose to have babies. We're made to have babies. We don't have a choice.
I think he has a different opinion.
We don't have a choice. So I think government should take it up seriously. That a bill should be passed.
Is it true we don't have a choice?
No, you do. Actually, you do have a choice. What I'd like to say to every career woman is this: parenting is a huge sacrifice.
Okay.
And before you decide to have a child, you have to carefully think about it, because it's going to affect the choices you will make after the child is born.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just enough to say you want to have a baby. You also need to have a plan of how the baby will be nurtured, because the job of the mother is to nurture, while the job of the father is to teach.
So to teach?
Yes.
To nurture?
Teach. To nurture is from the mother. The mother nurtures and wings. The father teaches and guides. So it's so important that the couple, when they're planning to have kids, must agree on a workable, smart plan. And agree on a couple of years that the woman probably would have to stay off from her career if she has to stay off from her career. But if she has to work, then there must be a plan in place that will secure the future, especially the emotional development of a child. A lot of our kids have been damaged emotionally.
Especially those formative years, from like 0 to 5.
In fact, a lot and have been damaged.
And it has an effect. A ripple effect on society.
I mean,
on this, exactly.
Just in church, last Sunday, I met a young teenager whose self-esteem has been traumatized, and he's grappling with having to have a new sense of self-worth right now. And if he's not, guided properly, he might end up, doing terrible things with his life. So parenting is serious business, and I'd like to say to every career-minded woman, if you must work, have a plan.
Yes, thank you so much. We have another caller, Kemi from Lagos. Good evening, Kemi. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Thank really love the idea of the man.
Hello? Hello, Kemi?
Are you there? I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
I really love the idea of the man coming down with the wife, sharing it 50-50. One step down for another, and the other step down for the other.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. But one thing I see now is our men of nowadays are not ready to do that.
Yeah, I think I agree with her. Ego problems.
No, they should put the ego problems aside.
The child is the man's as much as it's for the woman.
Yeah,
that's good.
Thank you so much, Kemi. Thank you for your contribution.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Good
All
night.
right, good night. That's a key one
yes.
too. How many men would want to relax and have their wives come home at night and ask, honey, what did you make? Did you bath the kids?
I think it's just an ego thing, because the child is yours, the man's, as much as he or she is the woman's, you know. Because sometimes I find that the women make more sacrifices. They go all out, you know, to see that their kids are catered to, their family is well taken care of. And I wonder, is the child, okay, you have 100%, is the child 70% more for the woman?
No, 90% more for the woman.
You know,
until he's successful, then it becomes the daddy's.
You know, the thing that amazes me is this. When you want to have a child, I mean, it involves two people, right? So it also should involve two people when it comes to caring for the child.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. That's the perspective with which I've lived my life. And one of the things that bothers me is when I go for parenting seminars or fora in schools, you find 80% of the attendees are women.
Where's
and
daddy?
probably 2%
Where's
of
daddy?
the attendees are men.
Where's
so
daddy?
This is 50-50. For me, this is a clarion call to men to man up.
Yes.
And wake up to their responsibility.
That is manning up, actually.
Abroad, if a father doesn't show up for certain events, especially if the events have to do with the child's extracurricular activities, the school will invite social services to investigate the family.
Fortunately, we have to continue this discussion probably on Wednesday because we ran out of time. But thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Even I've learned a lot. I hope our audience has as well. Well, we need to quickly go on to our final thoughts for tonight, and then we'll call it a night.
All right, so I'll just take my final thought. If you won't be there for your kids, maybe you shouldn't bring them here. Simple and short. Like,
straight to the point.
Like our guest has said, if you cannot, there's no point bringing them here if you know that you will not deal with it. Parenting is different from just giving birth. So we got it.
Yeah, and my final thoughts are, the greatest job parents will ever accomplish in their lifetime is to raise well-rounded children who will be a positive force in the society. Yes, those years, 0 to 5, are the formative years. Anything, a friend taught me recently that anything you don't put in your child, 0 to 5 years, you can't do it when they are teenagers. You can't change them when they are teenagers. So please spend more time with your kids. Make sacrifices if you have to. Let's not forget, yes, your book.
Yeah.
Just tell us more
the
about
book
it.
talks about the fact that God sends kids to the family to become a solution to any man-made challenge. And we have examples of children who have transformed the world. Now, just imagine if they were not placed in families that could support their existence. Probably the solutions that they birthed while they were here, we probably will never have them today. The late Miles Monroe was one such solution from Barbados. He affected the entire world. We have Robert Einstein, who created electricity and talked about gravity, introduced the theory of gravity. We have men who conquered empires, like Alexander the Great, who probably never have learned about them, if not that they were born into families and supported their existence. So we need to understand, my book talks about the fact that parents need to come to that place where they must involve God in developing their kids.
Thank you so much. The book is called Purposeful Parenting, yes, and it's available online. We've come to a close. Oh, not again. Time runs so fast on the show. Well, we have to go, but don't forget that you can catch a repeat broadcast of the show tomorrow evening at 10 p.m. Yes, 10 p.m. And then we'll be coming back to you on Wednesday evening.
God willing.
Can't wait. Yeah, God willing. Can't wait.
All right. Thank you very much.
It's been a nice show. Thank you so much to all our callers. We really appreciate your call, your support. Good night from Adenri Sola,
Samson Iyayi,
and Fome. Good night.
Good night.